And today I'm going to share with you a beautiful plant-based roast dinner. Welcome back to episode 3 of my series, Winter Warmers. This recipe is perfect for Thanksgiving, it's perfect for winter nights, and it's also just perfect for hosting for your friends and family. The heart of this recipe, the centerpiece of this recipe, I should say, is the lion's mane mushrooms. I'll actually list some alternative mushrooms that give the same kind of similar texture that you'll get from the lion's mane. This one is pretty unique. If you can get hold of it, get hold of it. It's a special occasion and it's gonna make a delicious feast. It looks like a lion's mane, which is why it gets the name. Lion's mane is also packed with probiotics, so it's incredible for your gut health. It's brain boosting with all the minerals and nutrients in there. That's why you can buy like lion's mane grounded powder that costs an absolute fortune, because it is just one of those superpower mushrooms. So not only will you give your friends and family or yourself a really delicious meal, you're also giving them a really nutritious meal too, which is what I'm all about.
The first thing that I want to do is get my mushrooms ready, which means cooking them down. I did wash them first. I know this can be controversial, but wash them, put them on the heat and let them cook. While they're cooking, I'm going to peel my carrots, cut them down. I'm going diagonals again because I'm just obsessed with this shape, as well as my onions, and I want to keep that really beautiful shape intact. So I just take the skins off and then slice it down the middle. Then when we go back to the mushrooms, you'll see they have released so much of that liquid, that moisture. By placing something heavy on top, it really just squeezes it out, which is exactly what we want to do. Once that has evaporated, I add some oil. So now I can start building a beautiful char on the mushrooms. This will be more of a kind of crusty char that adds an amazing texture, and it's a great place for seasoning to stick to. So just let it brown and keep cooking it, turning it around until golden and juicy like this. Now I'm just going to slice up some lemons. I'm going to bring some acidity with the lemons, and then to balance it I've got these sweet jammy dates. These are soft and jammy, so I'm going to give them a rough chop because they will melt in the oven when we cook them. Now use a pan that can go in the oven and cook on the stove, and I'm going to roughly cook my carrots and I'm going to roughly cook my onions to get a really nice golden char on both of them. Then I've got some potatoes. These are King Edwards in the UK, but use whatever potatoes you know are perfect for that roasted, crunchy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. I'm gonna parboil these potatoes a little bit just to make sure that they roast up and they cook at the same time as the carrots. Season generously with salt. You want this water nice and salty. And then we're just gonna add the potatoes straight in. So this is only going to cook for like a couple of minutes. That's all we want. Once the potatoes are parboiled, just drain them. And we're going to bring everything back to the pan, the pot roast. I'm adding my jammy dates. You can use whole ones, cut ones. It also depends if yours are really tough. If you can, use soft jammy dates for the best results. My mum loves to find a whole garlic clove roasted. To her, it's like finding a piece of treasure in a roast. Add our potatoes, season it with salt and olive oil just to make sure those potatoes crisp up. I'm adding veg stock just to make sure at the end of this we also get some gravy. Let that cook in the oven. Let it roast beautifully and get nice and golden and delicious. And in the meantime, I want to make something to go with it. I want to make 2 different kind of things, 2 elements just to level it up a little bit and make it even more special. First of all, while everything in the oven is delicious, there's not that many high protein sources. So I want to make some kind of spread that is high protein and delicious. Whenever I use dates, I naturally want to use tahini. So we're going to make a whipped tofu tahini, and don't worry, it's actually delicious. I know sometimes the thought of cooking with tofu to some people is like bland, but we're gonna make it super tasty. On top of that, we're gonna use all this fresh parsley to make a delicious kind of herbaceous dip to just make everything level up and taste even better than just your standard roast. You can use coriander instead of parsley. After my pregnancy, I hate coriander. I became one of those people. I used to vouch for coriander, if you're in America, cilantro. After my pregnancy, it tastes like liquid. What do they say? It tastes like fabric conditioner. It tastes like washing up liquid. It doesn't taste
nice like it used to. So I just use parsley instead. And I'm really sad about that, but it is what it is, and we move. Give your herbs a wash and then finely chop them. Get them as fine as you can and then place them into a bowl. We're going to dress this with a balance of olive oil and vinegar, similar to when you make something like a chimichurri, with salt and garlic. And just whisk that together to combine so the oil and the vinegar kind of emulsifies. Then for our high protein tahini tofu spread, just crumble the tofu a little bit so it fits inside whatever high speed processor blender that you choose to use. Just make sure it's one that's powerful. I'm adding this soy yogurt. If you can get a soy based Greek style yogurt, it works beautifully. And of course a really generous drizzle of tahini. Our roast has been in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. I think it's safe to get it out now. Wow. They kind of look like chicken thighs. Okay, if there's anyone saying, why if you're vegan do you want to eat something that looks like me? I just want to eat lion's mane mushrooms, okay? I'm just saying they look a little bit like, okay oven, we get it. They look a little bit like chicken thighs. And the potatoes have crisped up. They're nice and brown and juicy. Yum, 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 yum. This is a little bit crazy for a plant-based eater. We're just gonna slice these pieces out. And the outside is crunchy, charred, a little bit salty, and the inside is really juicy and tender. The texture is incredible, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you gave it to some friends who aren't vegan and didn't tell them this was a mushroom, they probably wouldn't believe you. Just cut each mushroom down into these little slices for serving. I wanted to show you how I would serve this if I was hosting a dinner party. So first I would start by spreading in the tahini tofu spread generously all over. Then I'm gonna get my herb sauce and mix it together. It's visually appealing and really, really delicious. Lay it on the mushrooms. This was a very sad moment when they just fell off because they're so tender. Add in the carrots, the lemon slices, onions, and it truly is, it's vibrant and so tasty. And then of course how I would serve for each individual. We're not missing out those roast potatoes. They just didn't fit on the serving plate. And I think potatoes should sit separately together where they can stay crunchy. But an individual serve, we've got the spread, potatoes, herbs, carrots, mushrooms, and then that gravy, that juicy, citrusy, sweet gravy. We're just gonna put that over everything. I love my potatoes doused in gravy. What I recommend doing is taking everything out of the pan and seeing if you have any gravy left. If you don't, that is so fine. Sometimes the oven, the potatoes absorb everything dries out, but we want a little bit of gravy. So there's still flavor in the bottom of this pan. Just add a little bit of vegetable stock and mash in the dates, press them down, mix it together, and then you get this really rich, delicious gravy just to go with everything. It adds those extra juices that I just think make it so comforting and delicious, especially for winter. This is truly like, happiness on a plate. Perfect for serving, but taste test, let's taste it. My favorite bit of every video, you get a bit of mushroom, get a bit of potato, you get a bit of gravy, you get a bit of that sauce. That is insanely delicious. I'm making this on Christmas Day. Absolutely, this is my Christmas dinner. Surprise! This is a Christmas dinner recipe. I can't tell you. And what's strange is that the texture is just so firm, tender, not like the oyster mushroom. This is a way better texture than I love an oyster mushroom, but these lion's mane mushrooms, oh my days. Regardless of whether it looks like meat, doesn't look like meat, it's a delicious plant-based dinner made with wholesome, real ingredients. Nothing's highly processed, full of fibers, full of proteins, and it's delicious. Oh wow. I hope you guys have enjoyed this recipe as much as I have, because this has been, even for me, I'm even happier. I feel like every recipe I've been doing at the minute, I just get even more excited at the food that I've created. I will leave the recipe for you so you can make this recipe. Let me know how you find it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you make the recipe. I'd love to hear from you on YouTube or Instagram. or my website where the recipe will be. I hope it makes you as happy as it has made me today. And I'll see you in my next Winter Warmers, which I believe is gonna be... I had some comments about pasta, and boy do I love pasta, so we're gonna do some pasta Winter Warmers next. Thank you for watching. Bye.